when Israel decided to retaliate in the worst way possible after the Hamas attack and started killing and bombing thousands of Palestinians, the Muslim world was shocked. After that, the Western world expected that they would witness a united Muslim front, which would include all Muslim countries. So great was the fear the West and Israel felt that they had strategies ready in case the Muslim world decided to go offensive. But what happened in reality was more shocking. The Muslim world was in deafening silence. No chances of any retaliation or support existed. Leaders like Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping were also waiting to see how the Muslim world would respond after they could declare which side they were on. Yet, the Muslim world did nothing. All hopes for someone rising and speaking for Palestine vanished. And that's precisely when an unexpected country decided to raise its voice, stand up, and resist what Israel was doing. This country is South Africa, which has today dragged Israel, a country that even the West cannot challenge, to the International Court of Justice. That's when the question rises on the Muslim countries. Why did they not do anything, even symbolically? Why did they wait for South Africa and then offer superficial support for the case, bringing no cases of their own? In this video, we will tell you what Muslim countries can learn from South Africa's case against Israel in the International Court of Justice. Watch the video until the very end, because this will change how you think about Muslim countries, Israel, and South Africa. Let's get started. Number 1, you don't need to finance militants to get things done. In the Muslim world, there have been sentiments that in order to achieve something, you actually need militants who can fight for you. This means having a force that can fight in another country. In this respect, Saudi Arabia has faced scrutiny for promoting Salafi and Wahhabi ideologies, which some argue foster extremism. Despite the Saudi government's efforts to combat terrorism and extremist financing, there are claims of private individuals and entities within the kingdom providing financial support to radical groups. Critics point to Saudi Arabia's historical backing of Islamist movements worldwide and suggest that certain elements within the country continue to finance extremist organizations. A major reason behind this financing has been to get support in a time of need. However, Israel's attack on Gaza did not provoke Saudi Arabia to use its influence on militants. Or perhaps, in this sensitive situation, using militants is not a suitable option. Yet, other Muslim countries have also been involved in supporting and financing militants for their interests. Iran has been accused of supporting various militant groups aligned with its regional interests. This includes backing Hezbollah in Lebanon, designated as a terrorist organization by multiple countries, as well as supporting Shia militias in Iraq and Houthi rebels in Yemen. Iran portrays its support for these groups as resistance against perceived foreign occupation or oppression, particularly by Israel and the United States. But in this scenario, Iran also could not use them against Israel. What's more, Qatar has faced allegations of supporting Islamist militant groups in conflict zones, such as Syria and Libya. While Qatar denies directly financing terrorist organizations, it has been accused of providing financial aid to factions with extremist ties to advance its regional goals. Qatar's support for groups like the Muslim Brotherhood has also drawn criticism from neighboring countries and contributed to tensions in the region. With each Muslim country trying to finance different militant groups, the Muslim world becomes more divided than united. This scenario reflects the current state of the Muslim world: weakened, fragmented, and divided, reaching its lowest point since the 13th and 14th centuries. South Africa has shown that the idea of a unified Ummah, or Muslim community, is impractical in the current nation-state structure, with each country grappling with its own socio-economic challenges. Number 2, engaging in real diplomacy pays off. By taking Israel to the International Court of Justice, South Africa has shown that sometimes battles can be fought diplomatically. It has shown that by following a proper channel, anything is possible. Therefore, South Africa is acting within its rights as a signatory to the Genocide Convention, which allows any state party to bring a case against another if it believes genocide is occurring. The case South Africa brought against Israel itself is a diplomatic maneuver, indicating a serious attempt to resolve a dispute legally, even if it involves only two states. Instead of engaging in illicit financing, South Africa followed the proper channel. It engaged in pre-filing efforts from the very start of Israel's attack on Gaza. It extensively consulted with the Palestinian Authority, legal experts, and civil society organizations to ensure a well-coordinated and grounded approach. Additionally, South Africa reportedly attempted to address its concerns with Israel directly through diplomatic channels before turning to the ICJ. What's more, South Africa has been engaging with media, international organizations, and civil society to raise awareness about the case and gather support for its position. By taking Israel to the ICJ, South Africa has challenged the perception of Israeli immunity to legal accountability, demonstrating that even powerful states can be held responsible under international law. Furthermore, the case has created space for further legal action against Israel, potentially reshaping the Israeli-Palestinian dynamic. That's something the Muslim countries can learn from South Africa. Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Africa's geopolitics, economy, and changing landscape. Let's continue now. Number 3. When you are right, you can fight alone. In international politics, building alliances is considered to be a key to achieving national interests. However, you don't need stronger alliances to fight for the right. If alliances had paid off, the Muslim countries would have stopped the war already. But they could not because alliances are of no use in such matters. Yet, the Muslim countries are still engaged in showing the world their alliance. That's why, in Riyadh, Arab and Muslim leaders gathered to present a united stance condemning Israel's war in the Gaza Strip. But condemnation does not do anything. It does not stop war or bring the oppressor accountable. Sitting together and condemning when hundreds of people are being killed every day means a superficial move to avoid questions. The sudden resurgence of the Palestinian issue within Arab and Muslim circles, along with the passive stance of Western nations staunchly supporting Israel, demanded a forceful response. However, entrenched divisions in the Middle East hindered the development of a unified approach to resolving the conflict and mapping out a diplomatic path forward. The Arab League and the Organization of the Islamic Conference did sit together under the leadership of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. But no practical decision resulted at the end of the conference. Simply condemning did not bring fruitful results because the Muslim world criticizing Israel is natural. There is no great achievement in this like South Africa's that dragged Israel to ICJ and made it explain itself and its actions. If Muslim countries wanted, they could individually bring lawsuits against Israel in the International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court, but they did not. Instead, they only offered their support for South Africa, which was fighting the case in the ICJ. Number 4. Expose oppressors using legal frameworks. Sometimes, everyone unconsciously knows who the oppressor is, but nobody actually pays attention to it. Because the oppression side is powerful and above the law, the public feels it's not worth the time to think about the matter at all. However, South Africa has proved it wrong. By fighting a legal battle, it has made Israel explain itself to the whole world, not just to the ICJ. The world wanted to know how Israel would defend killing tens of thousands of people in Gaza, including women and children. And South Africa became the entity to bring Israel to the place where history can be recorded. Whatever the Israelis' legal team said at the ICJ was scrutinized, and those who knew how loose the arguments were, Israel made a fool of itself. The whole world had its eye on the case, and South Africa was grilling Israel, showing the West that they had taken the wrong side this time, and South Africa wouldn't let it get away with that. Number 5. West cannot be trusted. Whether the Muslim world confesses it or not, it always tries to appease and win the West's favor. However, by doing this, a legal battle cannot be fought against someone who is a Western ally, which, in this case, is Israel. Israel has received support from Western powers, including the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and Germany, despite the widely accepted fact that Israel is breaking international law. This shows that the West can never be trusted, and the Muslim world should give up appearing the West. Even before Hamas existed, Palestinians in occupied territories faced injustice and oppression, and the West has historically supported Israel. Western countries have been unethically involved in endorsing unilateral and oppressive Israeli policies, such as the U.S. recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital and Israel's annexation of the Golan Heights, contrary to international law and UN resolutions. Ultimately, while Israel bears primary responsibility for ongoing atrocities and oppression, Western powers share equal blame for crimes committed in Palestinian lands. South Africa has now shown that even if the ICJ holds Israel accountable, the Western world will not. This means if the Muslim countries continue standing with the West, they will indirectly be supporting Israel. Do you think that the Muslim countries should have gone to all lengths to avoid killings in Gaza? Isn't it true that South Africa has become the flag bearer of resistance against war crimes and possible genocide? In the comment section right below, let us know your thoughts on South Africa making the Muslim countries ashamed of their silence and inaction about killings in Gaza. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: African politics, economy, and increasing power. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
Tell us what you think in the comment section. Like and share the video, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our African videos. It's the best way to support us.